Hey y'all, it's Jazz, better known as Cookie, and don't forget the Daniels. You know I love it when y'all stop by Players page, and today I have a special little video for you. Today is a video I am answering some FAQ questions, and I am basically doing a mini story of who I am, where I come from, what do I do. If you're on my page and you see different stuff, I just wanted to have a video so I could just let you guys know, what a real player be on. You know what I'm saying? So my name is Jasmine. My real name is Jasmine. I don't know why they named me Jasmine. Like that is such a basic name. And if your name Jasmine, you watching this, just a, we got basic names. I'm not coming at you because my name's Jasmine too. I'm just saying, like, when I came out, my mama wasn't just like, Erlene or something. I don't know. Jasmine just doesn't really speak for me. But apparently, my name was supposed to be Thirstine, which is wild. My father's name is Thurston. So the fact that they was finna mix Christine and Thurston is just wild to me. Hey, how you doing, my neighbors? Think got to stay cordial. Anywho, so that's my name. And I'm an Aquarius. My birthday is January 30th. Shout out to my Aquarius is in the building. Big energy. Is y'all cool? I am a sensual movement expert, which is somebody who understands the manipulation and sex appeal of a woman's body and can teach it at an all-time master level. That's what I am. And of that title, I own a dance and fitness studio. In Chicago, it is one of the biggest studios in the Midwest. It's called Kookies Dance. And the name Kookies Dance actually came from my grandmother. I named it the Den because my grandmother used to live, we all lived together, me, my mom, my dad, my grandma, my sisters, my brothers, and we lived together. My grandmother lived in the den, the room with like the TV. It wasn't quite the living room. It was like a little extra room, but that was her room. So when I was naming a studio, I always wanted to keep my grandmother's legacy alive. So I named my studio Cookies Dance Den. And the name Cookie, I got that name from, I used to club all the time. Baby, I was T. Do you hear me? I used to be in Adriana's Get It Bussin'. If you're from Chicago and you already know, Adriana's was the place to be Saturday night when we got out of school. Um, well, not out of school. I said that like at high school or something. College. Like when we didn't have school for the weekends. We was lit at Adriana's. Me and my best friend Nicole. Shout out to my cousin Kayla. We was always there. Shout out to my girl Angelique. We was always there. Shout out to my girl Janae. We was always there. And one day we was in Adriana's and this dude was like, "What's your name?" And out my mouth, a good old lie, I said Cookie. Been rolling with it ever since. Now, if you go find some of my pictures from like Magic Photos and stuff like that, the Cookie gonna have a C. But then as I got a little, into the name for real, I changed it to a K. And that K has been branded through my entire brand. So all of the instructors that work in my studio, that have been trained by me and work in my brand, they all have a name that starts with the letter K. So you got, I ain't even gonna go through the list because if I leave somebody else when they watch this, then I'm being shady. Okay, so I'll just name like just three people for the hell of it. We got Crazy, we got Coco, we got Karma. Everybody got a K, and it's part of the brand. And so yeah, K is run. K is running the brand, and the name Cookie don't mean nothing special. In case y'all thought like my great aunt that passed away gave me the name, no, no, she didn't. I made that up in a club. Um, and let's see. I'm kind of really just going random now, aren't I? I'm a polo pescatarian. I did a pescatarian for about a year in like 2019 to like 20, the end of 2020 ish. And the pescatarian is seafood seafood diet. But I bought chicken back. I didn't really have to bring it back. I bought it back. I don't eat it as much, but I definitely, divulge in it from time to time. Um, I am about 5'6". If you're ever worrying, not worrying, because why would you be worrying about how tall I am? If you've ever been wondering how tall I am, and backstory really quickly, I went to college to be a Black Studies college professor. I was in a lot of dance programs my whole life. Went to school for dance as well, and they got rid of the dance program. So then I just stuck with the sociology thing. I also was double majoring in Spanish in college you be jumping around. So stay people. My folks that know, they know. Like, hey, you going for all that? You move around. Because at one point I was going to be a veterinarian, and when I found out I had to do other things besides play with dogs, I was like, oh no, I'm not doing that. So also same thing with Spanish. They dropped the one of the Spanish classes I needed to get my double major right before I was going to graduate, and I'm like, I'm not about to stay no another semester for this. Hola, I can say hola. I got it. I'm good. So of course, at one point I spoke very fluent Spanish. No more. I don't anymore. No mas. I don't have anybody to talk to. If you speak Spanish, hit me up. Maybe I can find a new friend, dust it off. You know, I might have to give me some Rosetta Stone for Christmas. But I've danced my whole life. I've studied at the Catherine Dunham. I've done African, jazz, ballet. I used to dance with Joffrey Ballet. My mom always had me in something, and I was the captain of my college dance team. They kept locking the dance studio door at my college. So somebody on my team was like, hey, I know a spot we can rehearse. So we was rehearsing in this space. And the space happened to be around the corner from my parents' house at the time while I was in college. Long story short, we were rehearsing in that space. I was teaching the team one day, and the lady who owned the space asked me, have you ever taught public classes before? And I was like, no. She was like, you should. And I literally called that lady back 3 weeks later because she gave me her number and said, well, if you ever want to hold some public classes here, in Chicago, you should. And 10 years ago, it wasn't a lot of stuff that wasn't like, I ain't trying to be funny, but like in certain parts of Chicago, there are certain dance studios of certain genres that are not geared towards certain people in certain ages and, whatnot. I'm not going to go too deep. So I started a class, and I grew up majority of my life Chicago and in Arkansas. So that's all we did down there was get a bussin', especially on some dancing tips. So I ended up calling the lady back, telling her like, I think I'll use the space to rent it out. And she was like, what kind of class you gonna do? And we chopped it up, and I was like, we got a twerk class because I hadn't seen one here. Ended up launching a twerk class here in Chicago about 10 years ago. When I first had it, I went for like 6 months. Nobody came. I was begging my friends to come, my family, people from my school, just so that I can get footage so I could post it. And then God put his hands on it one day, and it took off. Some of my clients started to post it on Facebook, and I used to tell them they couldn't post my classes. I'm like, no, I don't want anybody stealing my stuff. Not so much stealing my stuff. I don't want anybody taking my routines, because routine taking was a thing. That's a whole nother conversation in the dance world. If you're in the dance world, you know. So I was like, I don't want anybody posting the routines, and some of my clients was like, go to hell. Go to hell. We're going to post. We like this. We like your class. You need more people in here. And it just caught a wave on Facebook, and I blew up. The room we were in was small. It had mirrors put up against the wall, the mirrors that you have on the back of your dorm door in college. And we ended up leaving there. That's the spot I got my start. That's the spot I got my start at. That was on 99th. We always call it 99th because it was on 99th Street here in Chicago. And then from there, I rented out about 8 or 9 different locations after that. Not like permanently rent or like no paperwork or nothing like that. Just, rented by the hour. I was everywhere. I was out west. I was in Aurora. I was in 147 Pulaski. I was on Stony Island. I was on 87 for Racine. I rented out gyms, park districts. We used to have class outside. Once I had started it, people fell in love with it. I couldn't stop. And I was doing it. At this time, I'm still in college. And then I was at one of my last jobs before I quit it and became an entrepreneur full time. And the manager had sent us an email while I was still having my classes at different spots. She sent us an email saying we could no longer have any other extra tabs open outside of our work. And in my head, I'm like, how am I gonna do that? Because I used to have YouTube tabbed, and I would listen to music and make up dances in my chair to teach at my class. And when she said we couldn't do that no more, we couldn't listen to no music, we couldn't do nothing, I came home, made a real conscious decision because I was living with my parents at the time, and I was like, I'm about to quit. I'm about to quit because I got this is what I like to do, and I need to make up my dances. So I know it may sound petty, like you quit because you can listen to music. No, I quit to go after my dreams, and I quit because I had heard God telling me to quit anyway. So I was really just looking for something. Yep. I quit. I was living with my parents though, and I already had my car, so I didn't have like no heavy bills. The classes was doing okay. I used to teach 5 or 6 days a week. Literally, here in Chicago, I was teaching my twerk class. At this time, I had started some of my other classes, like I had started my Tease class and my hip hop class, but I was mainly teaching twerk, like 70% of the time, and I taught the other ones here and there. They hadn't caught the same wave at the time that twerk did, and I had been teaching my classes everywhere, and then I was at the last spot, which was on 95th. I was renting this room, and one of the owners had a camera at home, and I felt like he was watching us, but that's another conversation. And then the owner of the spot was just raising rent by the hour, and I'm just like, I'm not making no profit. So I remember going home from class one night from my last location I was at before I got my first studio, and I walked in the door, and my dog jumped on me, and she died. It was like she waited on me to come home. I opened the door, and I ran up and down the street with her in my arms. It was one of my pits. I love pit bulls. If you know me, I love pit bulls. Another fun fact, if you're watching the video, I love pit bulls. And after she died, it was just very emotional for me. I talked a couple more times at that 95th location after that, and then I came home telling my mama like she just keep raising the rent over there. I think because she been seeing me on TV. Quick pause. I had got a PR in the midst of me renting all those spaces I told y'all I rented to just host my class, because I never gave up on my class. I didn't care if it was one person there or 50. I didn't care where I had to have it. Y'all heard the locations. I was running all around. I had ended up getting a PR, a publicist. Her name was Erica. Rest in peace. And Erica put me on every TV show, every radio station, got me in every magazine you could think of. She was amazing. She met me, and she told me there was a glow about me and that I needed to be seen, and she was going to make sure of it, and she did. I miss her. I cry about her a lot to this day. I wish you had been here when I grand opened my newest location. She was very essential in my entire brand, and I miss her so dearly. I don't even want to start crying on here. But when you get good people in your life, or you do good and God sends you good people, it's just such a blessing. It feels so good to know them while they're here, and then when they're gone, you just sit back and reflect. Like, I'm just blessed that I even got to meet you. Because I sometimes think, like, I didn't even have to meet her. Like, the people that didn't meet her, the people that she didn't help, like Erica Watson, if you ever want to look her up, she was on the panel of Windy City Live as well. And Erica was a blessing. But bringing myself back wherever I was, because I know y'all is keeping up with me jumping around this story, baby, but I'm just trying to get it out, get it on camera. I ended up telling my mom at the 95th location, the last location I was at, I'm like, she keep raising my rent. And my mom was like, well, why don't you go look into my mom's, one of my mom's best friend, who I looked at like an aunt. She owned a strip mall. And my mom had happened to tell me that somebody was getting put out for not paying their rent. So I ended up going over there to see it, and I left with the keys. And here I am getting ready to open a dance studio, and I don't know what I'm doing. I ain't go to school for that. But God will put it on you. He put it on me. And I learned every lesson you can learn about business opening up my first space. That's why in my business coaching business, which is cookiedance.com, if you ever need help opening a business, starting a business, fixing a business, marketing a business, I got you. I do mentorships, and I do one-off calls to teach you specific skills. Rock with a player. I could be your mentor. Lost my train of thought. Basically, that was such a learning experience. When you do something out the mud and you don't know what you're doing, you spend a lot of money, you do a lot of stuff wrong, you learn a lot of laws. I just learned so much opening my first facility. Fast forward to today, I was at that facility for about 2.5 years, maybe 3. And then the pandemic happened, and then I did not do, PPP. I just want to throw that out there. It was time. No shade to nobody who did it. No shade. I'm talking. The story is about me. My aunt, my mom's friend, she happened to die during the pandemic, and I heard God tell me to move because I didn't know who was going to buy the strip mall that my first dance studio was in. So I heard him say move. So I ended up going through a couple of real estate agents, found an amazing one, Tanisha. Shout out to Tanisha. She was amazing. Found the space that I'm at now. When I walked in, I was like, who finna pay for this? Who got money for this? Who finna be over here? Like, me? And she must have grabbed my shoulders and turned to me and said, yes, you. God placed you here. You're supposed to be here. This is your path. You are aligned. Long story short, I can't tell y'all, I went through sleepless nights for months, 4 to 6 months, staying up, contracts, interviewing, paperwork, blueprints, meetings with the village. I definitely, and I was so equipped from learning business that first time around, I was able to really step into my big girl draws at this location because where I was, how big the space was, everything that was going on, I had to really have my ducks in a row. My business plan had to be spot on. My finances had to be spot on. Everything about me and my business had to be spot on. And the day she called me, my real estate agent, Tanisha, and was like, "You got the space," I fell. Let me turn my camera. I was over on that couch. I fell to the floor. To the floor. The floor. I fell to the floor crying. My friend Tiffany happened to be over here, who is my dance studio manager. She happened to be over here, and it was surreal. It was surreal. It was like I knew I had worked for it, but it was like, okay, that is really how the world works. Excuse me. That is really how manifestation works. That really is how God will bless. And I got that space, and I hit the ground running. Again, spent another how many months, countless months in there getting it together. It was so much stuff going on while I was trying to get that place together. I was going through a breakup too at the time. That was very emotional for me. And I'm not even gonna get into that story, but it was wild. It was wild for sure. And I continued on to try to open. I almost didn't even make it to my grand opening. It was a lot going on. It was a lot of money. It was a lot of money coming in, coming out. You know, I had some times where I was getting tested. I remember one time my contractor told me, "You're going to need $20,000 by tomorrow." And I was like, what? And I ended up calling my mom to come over here to pray with me. And I ended up applying for a PayPal loan. And the man called me back by the time the thing was done spending. And he gave me the money. And that was literally, it was wild. I know this sounds wild, but it was wild. It was a lot going on. And another time for God to show out. So, studio and everything's going well. And a lot of stuff was happening in that. When I say everything is going well, that's my positive outlook. So in the midst of me having my new studio, I had decided that I really, really wanted to get into all things romance, dating, falling in love. So I decided to get certified in intimacy and relationships. And I decided to be a romance coach, which is something I had not seen too much of. And I was like, no, I want to focus on romance. I want to be focused on a person making sure they're romancing their spouse and making sure that their date nights are like off the chain. So that's something that I just recently did. Because I've always loved love. It's here. Now, so I didn't talk about anything negative in this last, 15, 18, 20 minutes, however long this video is. I didn't really talk about anything negative. I just want to give you guys like a brief overview of who I was. I mean, because if I want to get into the nit and the grit, all the things that have happened to me, all of my injuries, stealing from me, talking bad about me, money, all type of, like, man, I could really get into it. But I just want you guys just to know kind of like where I came from and who I was. For those that didn't know, I didn't want to use this video to really tap into all of the things because none of that stuff actually matters because I'm standing here today. I'm on this video today. So I want you to be inspired by my stance right now. I don't want people to be inspired because I have to tell them all this stuff that happened to me that I overcame. Just know that I overcame a whole bunch of stuff. I had every brick thrown at me that could get picked up. And I still stand. So I don't want to have to tell, I went through this so that you went through it too. You just know I went through it. And I'm so blessed and I'm so grateful for everything that God has done. My parents have been amazing in my entire journey. So just to wrap up to who I am and what goes on now, I'm Kookie. And I own Kookies Dance, which is a dance and fitness studio. I also am a romance coach, so I wrote my own romance ebook. Ended up opening up an app called Tease University during the pandemic when we could not come. When the dance studio was closed down, I opened up an app, and it has dance classes, romance classes, fitness classes, flexibility classes, and it's 100% virtual. It's universityoftease.com. And it's not like my dance studio. Some people think that it's my dance studio virtually, but it's not. It's a totally different company. But my dance studio partners with Tease University to bring the dance classes. So I partnered two of my companies together. And the romance expert in me now, she lives over there at Tease University. It's a business consulting firm called It's Money Upstairs. And in the midst of all of this, people used to ask me 100 questions. You know, people told me they looked up to me, and people was like, I need help, I need help. And I was like, I should start something to help people, like really with their questions, help them start a business. Because I've always been into helping people. Like, that's just something, like, I just really, it's not enough help out here. It's not. It's not. So I ended up opening that, and that office is at my dance studio. So if you want to consult with me on the phone or in person, you will be meeting me. That's the address for my studio. It's in the same building. I want to just leave a legacy for myself, and it's just very important to me that I use my dance studio to reach as many women as possible, and I use my virtual app to reach as many women as possible, so people really know how divine they are. You are divine. If you're watching this video, you are divine. You are whole. You are whole. You don't need anything extra. Good. My daddy always told me, do good. Just like that. Nothing fancy after it. Just do good. Do good, because wrong. And my mama used to say, wrong gonna come back on you. Right, I want to leave a legacy of being that woman that did not follow the rules, that let women know that being sexy is okay, sex appeal is okay, sex is okay, being confident is okay. Don't close yourself up going into any rooms. Don't belittle yourself because other women think you too much. Be you. Be loud. Be proud. If you're not loud and quiet, be quiet. Be proud. And my whole brand, everything that I do just stands for just getting out there. Getting out there, whether it's with your business, with my consultant, getting out there, whether it's dancing, getting on that dance floor, just getting out there. And I am going to keep my foot on the mother gas pedal until the day I leave this earth. I don't want to be on here too long. I'm saying that the damn video part 3 hours already. I'm on here telling y'all I don't want to leave y'all on here for too long. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Kookie, CEO Kookie, Chicago female entrepreneur. I love y'all. And on my mama, it's cracking. I'll see y'all later. Bye.